Imagine if one simple food already sitting in your kitchen could provide your body with a remarkable combination of nutrients for your eyes, brain, liver, metabolism, heart, bones, skin, hair, and even your ability to control cravings. For generations, eggs have been one of the most common foods on the breakfast table, yet they have also been surrounded by confusion, especially when it comes to cholesterol and health. But when you look closely at what an egg actually contains, you discover a remarkably nutrient-dense food that can support many different functions throughout the body. In this video, we're going to explore 8 important ways that adding eggs to a balanced daily diet may support your health, and some of these benefits may surprise you. Let's begin with your eyes, because the yolk contains 2 important antioxidants called lutein and zeaxanthin. These compounds accumulate in the retina, particularly in an area called the macula, where they help protect delicate eye tissues from oxidative stress. Your eyes are constantly exposed to light, and throughout your lifetime, they experience enormous amounts of environmental stress. Lutein and zeaxanthin act as natural protective compounds, and research suggests that having adequate amounts of these nutrients is associated with better eye health. Egg yolks are especially useful because the fats naturally present in the yolk can help your body absorb these fat-soluble nutrients. This doesn't mean eating eggs will magically restore damaged eyesight or prevent every eye disease, but it does mean that eggs can contribute valuable nutrients to an overall diet designed to support long-term vision. And that brings us to the second benefit, which may be even more fascinating: your brain and memory. Eggs are one of the most convenient dietary sources of choline, an essential nutrient that your body uses to produce acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter involved in memory, learning, muscle control, and many other functions. Choline is also involved in maintaining the structure of cell membranes and supporting normal brain development and function. Think of your brain as an enormous communication network with billions of cells constantly sending signals back and forth. Those signals depend on a steady supply of nutrients, and choline is one of the important building blocks involved in that process. Getting enough choline doesn't mean that eating an egg will suddenly make you smarter, but inadequate nutrient intake can make it harder for the body to perform normally. Including nutrient-rich foods, such as eggs, as part of a balanced diet, can therefore be a practical way to help meet your nutritional needs. And while we're talking about choline, we need to discuss another organ that depends heavily on it: your liver. Your liver performs hundreds of essential functions every day, including processing nutrients, producing important proteins, storing energy, and helping your body handle substances it needs to remove. Choline plays an important role in normal liver function and in transporting fats from the liver. Inadequate choline intake can contribute to abnormal fat accumulation in the liver, which is why this nutrient matters. However, it is important to understand that eggs are not a magical liver detox. Your liver and kidneys already perform your body's detoxification processes, and no single food can simply flush toxins off of your system. What eggs can do is provide nutrients, including choline, that support normal physiological processes. And that distinction is important because healthy nutrition is not about finding one miracle food. It is about consistently giving your body the raw materials it needs. Now let's move to metabolism, because this is where eggs become especially interesting for people trying to manage their weight or maintain stable energy. A large boiled egg contains essentially no carbohydrates and provides high-quality protein along with fats and several micronutrients. Because it contains very little carbohydrate, it generally produces a much smaller immediate glucose and insulin response than a carbohydrate-rich breakfast such as sugary cereal, pastries, or sweetened bread. But we should be careful with the idea that eating eggs automatically puts your body into a special fat-burning mode. Your metabolism is much more complicated than that. What eggs can offer is protein, which requires more energy to digest than carbohydrates or fat, and can contribute to fullness and better appetite control. This brings us directly to our fifth benefit: satiety and cravings. If you have ever eaten a breakfast that left you hungry again an hour later, you already understand why protein matters. Eggs contain all 9 essential amino acids, making them a complete protein source. Protein can help you feel fuller after eating and may reduce the desire to constantly snack, especially when compared with meals dominated by refined carbohydrates and added sugars. Imagine starting your morning with 2 boiled eggs, vegetables, and a piece of whole grain toast, instead of a highly processed breakfast loaded with sugar. You are giving your body protein, fiber if you include vegetables or whole grains, and a variety of micronutrients, while potentially avoiding the rapid hunger that can follow a highly refined meal. Of course, individual responses vary, and eggs are not a guaranteed appetite suppressant, but they can be an extremely practical part of a filling meal. And this leads us to one of the most controversial topics surrounding eggs: the heart and cholesterol. For decades, people were warned that eating eggs, especially the yolks, would inevitably raise cholesterol and damage the heart. Modern nutrition science has made the picture considerably more nuanced. Dietary cholesterol does not affect blood cholesterol in exactly the same way for everyone, and for many healthy people, moderate egg consumption can fit comfortably into a heart-healthy eating pattern. Eggs can also raise HDL cholesterol, commonly known as the good cholesterol. Although HDL levels alone do not tell the whole story about cardiovascular risk, the overall quality of your diet matters enormously. If you eat an egg alongside vegetables, whole grains, legumes, fruit, and other nutrient-rich foods, that is very different from eating eggs every day alongside large amounts of processed meat, butter, refined carbohydrates, and highly processed foods. If you have diabetes, cardiovascular disease, high LDL cholesterol, or another condition requiring individualized dietary advice, it is worth discussing your egg intake with your healthcare professional rather than assuming that the same recommendation applies to everyone. Now let's talk about something many people overlook: your bones. When people think about bone health, they usually think about calcium, milk, or supplements. But strong bones require a much broader nutritional foundation. Eggs provide high-quality protein, and protein is important for maintaining muscle and supporting the structural framework of the body. Egg yolks also contain some vitamin D, although the amount can vary, and eggs alone generally aren't enough to meet your entire vitamin D requirement. Vitamin D helps your body absorb calcium and plays an important role in maintaining healthy bones and muscles. As you age, maintaining muscle and bone becomes increasingly important because strength and stability can help you stay active and reduce the consequences of falls. So while an egg isn't a complete bone health solution, it can contribute useful protein and micronutrients as part of a balanced diet. And now we arrive at a benefit that people often notice when they improve their overall nutrition: the condition of their skin, hair, and nails. Your hair and nails are largely made of a protein called keratin, and producing healthy structural proteins requires adequate protein and micronutrients. Eggs provide complete protein as well as nutrients such as biotin, selenium, vitamin B12, riboflavin, and other compounds involved in normal cellular processes. These nutrients don't transform damaged hair into perfect hair overnight, and eating more eggs won't necessarily solve hair loss or skin problems caused by medical conditions. But adequate nutrition is fundamental to maintaining normal tissues. Think about your body like a construction project. Your cells are constantly repairing, replacing, and rebuilding tissues, and nutrients are the raw materials. If your diet consistently lacks protein or essential micronutrients, those construction processes can suffer. Providing your body with nutrient-dense foods is therefore one piece of the bigger picture. But there is another reason eggs have remained popular for so long. They are incredibly versatile. You can boil them, poach them, scramble them, or combine them with vegetables and whole foods to create a balanced meal. A simple boiled egg can be prepared in advance and carried almost anywhere, making it easier to choose a protein-rich snack instead of reaching for ultra-processed foods. And remember, the way you prepare eggs can influence the overall nutritional quality of the meal. Boiling or poaching eggs avoids the need for large amounts of added oil or butter, while pairing eggs with vegetables, beans, whole grains, or fruit can increase the fiber, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants in the meal. One of the biggest mistakes people make is focusing on one food while ignoring the rest of their diet. Eggs can provide excellent nutrition, but they don't contain everything your body needs. They are relatively low in vitamin C and fiber, for example, which is why combining them with vegetables and fruits is so valuable. Think about a breakfast plate containing eggs, spinach, tomatoes, berries, and whole grain toast. Suddenly, you're not relying on one miracle food, you're creating a diverse nutritional package. And that is ultimately the most powerful approach to health. Your body doesn't need a single superfood. It needs a consistent supply of different nutrients from a variety of foods. So let's quickly bring all 8 benefits together. First, egg yolks provide lutein and zeaxanthin, nutrients that support eye health and help protect the retina from oxidative stress. Second, eggs provide choline, an essential nutrient involved in brain function, memory, and cellular health. Third, that same choline supports normal liver function and the movement of fats out of the liver. Fourth, eggs provide high-quality protein with virtually no carbohydrate, making them a useful option for people looking for a filling, protein-rich meal without a large carbohydrate load. Fifth, their protein content can increase satiety and may help reduce unnecessary snacking when eggs replace less filling foods. Sixth, despite the old fear surrounding dietary cholesterol, eggs can fit into a heart-healthy dietary pattern for many people, although individual health conditions and the rest of the diet matter. Seventh, eggs provide protein and some vitamin D and other nutrients that contribute to maintaining healthy bones and muscles. And eighth, their protein and micronutrient content supports the normal growth and maintenance of skin, hair, and nails. But here's the most important message. Don't think of eggs as a magical cure, a detox treatment, or a food that can reverse every effect of an unhealthy lifestyle. No single food can do that. What eggs can be is one small but powerful part of a nutrient-dense diet. If your current breakfast consists mostly of sugary cereals, pastries, sweetened drinks, or highly processed foods, replacing some of those choices with a balanced meal containing eggs, vegetables, fruit, and whole grains may be a meaningful improvement. And if you're already eating a balanced diet, eggs can simply provide another convenient source of high-quality protein and important nutrients. Your health is built through thousands of small choices repeated over time. What you eat, how active you are, how well you sleep, how much highly processed food you consume, and whether you maintain healthy habits consistently. So the next time you look at an ordinary egg, remember that behind that simple shell is a concentrated combination of protein, healthy fats, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and essential nutrients that your body can put to work in many different ways. It may not be a miracle food, but when combined with a varied and balanced diet, an egg can certainly be a remarkably nutritious choice. And perhaps the real lesson isn't that one food can rescue your health, but that simple, nutrient-rich foods can become powerful allies when you make them part of a healthier lifestyle, one meal at a time.